Hello lads, lassies, and those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today I'm going to be talking about what would have happened if Goku married everybody. This is the fourth part to this What If, and if you have not already seen the other four parts, I would greatly recommend you go check those videos out before coming back to this one. Frieza is dead, but Kakarot isn't much better. He's out in nowhere space, and even with his immortality, he cannot breathe in space, therefore meaning that he's kind of just stuck there. He can't fly away, at least not fast enough, because he can't breathe. His life force is low, and even though his immortality keeps reviving him, he can't make any actual progress in getting to anywhere that has an even somewhat breathable atmosphere. Currently, Goku is practically stuck in stasis, and nobody can get to him because there's no way of finding where he is. The blast that he used to destroy the planet Frieza was on sent him spiraling out into a part of space that nobody really knows where is. It's basically nowhere, and there's nobody there to try and help him. And nobody can be sent to go and rescue him because his ki just isn't large enough to actually pick up on any radars because of how fast his life force drains the second he is revived. Not to mention the cold and deadly atmosphere that is the vacuum of space would mean that Kakarot is most likely frozen there. Even if he is revived over and over and over again, he can't move and probably can't even think because he is frozen basically in stasis. By this time, Goku really doesn't even benefit from Zenkais. Not to mention, immortality possibly just removes those entirely. So he's just stuck there. Unable to move, unable to think. He's as good as dead, but honestly even worse, because at least if he was dead, he could train. But here, he's not really anything. He's just stuck. And worst of all, everyone on planet Kakarot knows what's going on. Android 21 would have built a camera into the ship and would have seen everything that happened with Frieza as well as Goku. So she knows Kakarot's probably not coming home anytime soon. They could try and use the Dragon Balls to bring him back, but they were already used recently to revive Bardock and Guinea. Yeah, sure, that might have been a few months ago, if that, but it doesn't really matter. By the time they recharge, they're not going to be able to bring Goku back in the way he was because his mind would have already crippled from all of the excruciating pain. Being brought back just to die again and again and again thanks to his immortality would eventually cause his mind to just turn off. What's the point of continuing to think if all you can think is the pain that's coursing through your body every second that you are alive, which would last forever. So everyone just has to accept that their leader's gone. But there's one person who would take this worse than anybody else. Android 21. She had spent the most time by Goku's side. She had been the one to always be there for him. She was the one person who you might actually consider to be Goku's actual love interest in this story. Yeah, sure, he marries everybody, he gets with everybody. That's the staple of the What If. But at the end of the day, Android 21 was the person closest to Goku. Even his father, his mother, and his brother don't really care as much as her because they were Saiyans. They didn't have the same connection. Maybe Guinea would care, but still, Android 21 is absolutely broken by this. She spent millennia by his side, and now he's gone for good. Well, the first thing they all need to do is find out who would be the new Guardian of Earth. That's an official title. It's important, and somebody needs to be the Guardian. So who will it be? Well, I could say Gohan, and he would probably be eager to actually take up the role, as he is the firstborn son and the person who actually probably cares the most about the Saiyan Empire. Remember, this is really only Gohan in name. But I'd rather not have the role go to him. He would be the general of the army, and Android 21 would be the Guardian of Earth. She would be the one to take it over. while Gohan would still be the commander and leader of the Saiyan forces. Although this role is going to be a lot more important as time goes on, Android 21 deciding that the way to protect the Earth the best is to make sure there's no other competition in the universe, would send Saiyan troops in squads to go take over other planets. Like the Saiyans originally did, they are now going to be planet conquerors once more. Bardock likes this. It's sort of like a getting back to their roots sort of thing. Raditz would choose to be one of the people who stays on Earth to protect it himself, rather than actually going out and conquering more planets. It just doesn't really suit him anymore. He already did that. That was what his life was before. He'd rather actually protect something rather than conquer and kill. He likes this life, and he's getting used to it, so he'll stay with this role for a while. While all of the fighting Saiyans would be out partaking in intergalactic warfare, Android 21 would be working with the smartest minds on planet Kakarot to create something different, something new, something perfect. They would be working to create Cell, and they're able to do it in record time. Instead of taking 17 years, it would only take about 2 months, and Cell is complete, made with the DNA of every Saiyan that has ever been brought into this universe, well, at least all of the ones that Kakarot is the progenitor of, as well as DNA from all of the races they could track in the observable universe. This Cell is incredibly powerful, with the DNA of Frieza, King Cold, all of the Saiyans from planet Kakarot, the Yardrats, the Namekians. Every species of even minimal value would be put into Cell, although there is one thing Cell doesn't have: a mind, as it was not built to have a mind, consciousness of its own. They weren't building a bio-android, but instead, they were building a body. A new body for Android 21. That way she could assert the same dominance and rule over all of the Saiyans that Kakarot had. In truth, she had never really trained all that much. Most of her time was spent working on cybernetic enhancements for the army or for Kakarot himself, working on developing technology as well as basically just giving Kakarot everything he so desired. She really didn't spend a whole lot of time focusing on her physical strength, so this would make up for that. And now as she slips into her new body, she feels unstoppable. She is confident that nobody would stand in her way of spreading the Empire over the entire cosmos. The entire universe would be under her rule, just like Kakarot would have wanted. And as more time passes, Android 21 would further accumulate this body to be more like her. Yes, this form was incredible. It was genetically superior to anything else in the universe, but it was just a bit too monstrous for her liking, so she would change how it looks just a bit, and now it feels more comfortable for her, but still has all of the same power. After a few years, people would try and make attempts on her life, try and take over the Empire, but really it's just funny to watch them try more than anything. Nobody can even compare to the might of the true ruler of the universe, Android 21. But eventually, something happens that kind of breaks the cycle. Something that stands out amongst the regular scum of the universe trying to take her throne. It was a Saiyan duo. Two people who had heard of Kakarot's exploits and had come to see the new Saiyan Empire itself. They were Saiyans and they were powerful, so Android 21 decides to give them some time, see exactly what they're capable of, and as the two both transform into Super Saiyan, she'd be impressed. Their base power was minuscule at best, and quite frankly, Super Saiyan is nothing to anyone on the planet anymore. So these two weren't anything special, but the fact that they aren't from the Empire and aren't one of Kakarot's descendants does make them pretty unique. So Android 21 would put them under Raditz's watch and have him train them up to be at least a somewhat acceptable level. This is insulting, but the two kind of just have to go with it. everyone is far beyond their current level of strength. This is of course Nappa and Vegeta, and Raditz is absolutely loving the fact that he is now their superior. Oh, how the turns have tabled. But now we cut to nowhere space, where Android 21 is being proven wrong. It's not like there are people out there who are superior to her in terms of strength, but that's not what I mean. Kakarot is still alive. But I don't just mean that his healing factor, which is what I meant by immortality, sorry if I confused anybody, is keeping him alive, but instead, he is still very conscious, and very, very upset. The fact that he is stuck in space, unable to move more than a few inches before he dies once again, and has to be brought back by his healing factor, enrages him to a point where his aura as well as his rage is flaring hotter than any sun that has ever existed prior. But then, after years of being stuck in this torture, this absolute hellscape, it would all come to a climax. His power, his fury, it would all build up to a point where he would break his limits once again, forcibly entering a new power. And as this power surges around him and he screams louder than anyone has ever screamed, the universe would begin to break, reality crumbling as he would then somehow end up somewhere else, a different planet, somewhat familiar but still so very different. As Goku is approached by two friendly Namekians, he will get an idea. If these are actually Namekians like they appear to be, then they have Dragon Balls. And so, he would ask very kindly, almost seeming like a stranded and lost soul, to be brought to the Namekian Elder, somebody who would be able to bestow upon him the Dragon Balls. He needs to get home as he has been away from his loving wife for just far too long. Of course, this is all a ploy. He just wants to get back to Earth so he can continue ruling over his empire and expanding to the rest of the universe, something he did want to do. Although the Namekians buy into this and would decide to bring them to someone who would basically just be Walmart brand guru, just like how all of these Namekians are Walmart brand Namekians. And so he would be given the Dragon Balls as the Elder would also believe his story, not having the same mind-reading powers as our friendly neighborhood guru. And now Goku would prepare to wish to be brought back to Earth, but then he would have another idea. Something that sounds even funner than going back to his home. He would ask to be brought to the strongest person in this universe, having deduced that he's probably in a different dimension than the one he's familiar with. And then the Walmart brand Purunga would agree, teleporting him to the god of destruction. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as I certainly enjoyed making it, and if you could please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is, always has been, and always will be the Irishman. Talk to you later. Bye.